We had our first Saturday at Messenger Boot Camp. It was awesome. We had worship, and the whole thinking there is intimacy with Jesus Christ through worship and the Word, and prayer and connecting together creates this sense of mission within us. Jesus starts to speak to us, and we start to get missional in the way we think, and we want to go out and help people. And so it was awesome. Our first day was amazing. The next day at church, I'm sitting in church, and during the second worship song, the Lord started to speak to me. And he had to do this 3 times to get it through my thick skull because I wasn't getting it. But the first time he spoke to me, he said, "Mark, I want you to call the church to repentance." And I thought, that's just my thinking. That can't be God, because this church doesn't do that. He came to me a second time about 2 minutes later, and he said, "Mark, call the church to repentance." And I said, "That sounds strangely like my own voice and my own desire." So he came to me a third time, and he said, "Mark, call the church to repentance." So when the third song in our worship set settled down, this is toward the beginning of our worship service, and we go for about an hour and a half typically. And we were 20 minutes into the worship service. I called the church to repentance. I stood up, came to the front of the church, called the church to repentance. I had one of our associates come with me with a microphone. And I fully expected 2 people to come forward and talk about how badly they feel that they haven't taken the garbage out occasionally when their wives have asked them. But something much different happened. For an hour and a half, people came forward. They flooded to the front of the church. Something I've waited for 30 years. I've seen some of that. I've seen bits and pieces of this. But there were people coming to the front confessing things. I don't even want to say it on camera because it wouldn't be right, but I can say things like this. Husbands apologizing to wives, wives apologizing to husbands, children saying that they hadn't been the people they should be. And then after each person came forward, a flood of men and women from our church would surround them and pray over them. Perhaps the greatest thing that happened was there was a man that came forward, and I could tell, I think he might have had something on his mind that he wanted to say, a kind of a theological point. And God stopped him halfway through his theological point, and the man fell to his knees as he wept. And he said to his children and his wife, "I am so sorry, I have been so distracted." And the power of God fell on his house. And I'm telling you, it was electric. And I've seen bits and pieces of this, like I said in my past. I've never, ever seen this kind of thing. And in my thinking, I believe this is the forerunner to revival. It feels like we're being revived, and there's something going on that's way bigger than us. So I'm just jazzed and excited to be a part of Messenger Boot Camp. We're just in week 1. We've got 7 more weeks to go, and we're so excited about this. And then we're going to end with Love Minneapolis, and our church is jazzed about being a part of calling the lost back to their wonderful Father. Thank you.